Have you ever met someone who completely changed the way you perceive the world? Maybe it was a teacher who believed in you when no one else did, a friend who encouraged you to take a risk, or even just a book you read that caused you to think, if they can do it, why can't I? Every great movement, invention, and change started off as just a single spark in someone's mind. But it's not just about achieving dreams. It's about the impact those dreams have on inspiring others along the way. Try picturing someone who inspires you. Maybe it's a mentor, a family member, or a historical figure. What is it about them that's left such a lasting impact on you? Was it their courage, their persistence, their ability to lift others up? Hello, I'm Ishita Sharma, and today I'd like to present to you the stories of 4 incredible individuals. Each of them had a dream, but more importantly, they made sure that others could dream too. Their legacies remind us that courage starts with one person. When we pursue our aspirations, we can do unimaginable things and create an effect on others around us to do the same. The first great change maker I'd like to talk about today is John Chavez. How many of you have ever felt the need to fight just to prove that you belong somewhere? Maybe it was in a class where you were underestimated, or a sport where you were seriously doubted. Chavez knew what that felt like. He was the first Black student to attend university in the United States, facing barriers that most of us today couldn't even imagine. Born a free Black man in the late 18th century, Chavez pursued an education at a time when people of color were often denied the right to learn. But Chavez didn't stop at earning his own education. He dedicated his whole life to teaching free and enslaved Black people, ensuring that knowledge could spread even when society tried to suppress it. I think of Chavez whenever I sit in a classroom, surrounded by endless resources and opportunities to learn. He reminds me that education isn't just about knowledge. It's about spreading that knowledge and empowering other people with it. Now, how many of you have ever had to stand alone for something that you believed was right? Maybe to defend a friend, challenge an unfair rule, or even just speak up in class, even as your voice trembled. That feeling, the anxiousness, the doubt, that's only a fraction of what Abraham Lincoln must have felt as he led a divided nation through the Civil War. He faced intense opposition, but he didn't back down. Instead, he signed the Emancipation Proclamation, laying the groundwork for the abolition of slavery. He taught me that true leadership isn't always about avoiding conflict. Sometimes it means facing it head on, knowing that doing the right thing can sometimes mean standing alone. Now, if you've ever felt that you had to do something, you had to achieve something so badly that you were willing to fail over and over and over, countless times for, then you're feeling like Susan B. Anthony. In 1892, she walked into a polling place, and instead of walking out, she went in and she cast a vote, knowing full well that it was illegal. She was fined and arrested, but instead of backing down, she used her trial as a platform to advocate for women's suffrage. When I first learned about her in school, I didn't think much of it. I thought of voting as something that only adults did, a far-off responsibility. But as I grew older, I learned more about her sacrifices. And I realized that my right to vote wasn't just given to me, it was fought for. Anthony never got to see the passage of the 19th Amendment. But because of her persistent efforts, women like me can one day walk into a voting place and have our voices heard. That's the power of persistence. Now, have you ever heard of the saying that one person can't change the world? I'm sure we all have, but Mahatma Gandhi proved that statement otherwise. In 1930, he set out on a journey, not with an army, not with weapons, but with a group of followers. He called it the Salt March, and it was an act of defiance against British troops. Though it may have seemed to be a simple walk, it showed the resistance and all the power that they had when they worked together with unity. It had a great impact on a lot of people. His philosophy, it didn't just influence people in India, it extended far beyond that. It influenced famous other people like Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King Jr., proving that peaceful protests can truly change the world. He taught me that by taking that little step, that first step, it can lead to monumental change. So, what does this show us? It shows us that John Chavez taught us that knowledge is a tool that can be used for change. Abraham Lincoln showed us that true leadership sometimes means standing alone, even when it's hard to do so. Susan B. Anthony showed us that even if we don't see change in our lifetime, it paves the way for future generations to feel that change. And lastly, Mahatma Gandhi, he showed us that one person is really all it takes to start a movement and advocate for change. So, what does this tell us? It tells us that you even can make a change. If it's what you truly aspire to do, then so be it. I want to bring this back to all of you. What do you aspire to do? And more importantly, how will you use your aspirations to inspire change in others? As Mahatma Gandhi once said, be the change you wish to see in the world. So I challenge you all, I encourage you to take a step, be it a small step. All of those small changes and steps can lead to monumental change for so many. Who knows? Maybe that one dream you have is the spark that ignites change for future generations to come.